Hey guys, welcome to Night Owls. This November 12th. We're happy to have you here. I can't believe it, Sasha. It's almost Thanksgiving.
I
It's
know, it's
really coming up
crazy.
quick.
It is.
All the time. It's as you get older, time goes faster. That is definitely the case. And guys, thank you for being here. We just got back from Scarface. They had a special showing of that movie. And what were your thoughts on that movie, Sasha?
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. It was a little bit retro, that was for sure.
I'd seen it before, but it was neat to see it in the theater.
Oh, Scott James says, "Hi, Paul. I'm making plans when I could come out and see there again. That'd be great to see you again, Scott. I met Scott now twice, so he lives up in Missouri, so I'd love to see him again. So that'd be great. Yeah, Scarface was the critics didn't like it as much as the audience.
But they still liked it. I
Yeah.
think when it came out, people didn't like it as much, or the critics didn't. That guy said he didn't like it.
No, who is that guy?
Leonard Maltin.
Yeah, he had a strange looking guy, but I, looking back at old movies, sometimes you look at them through a different lens or whatever. It was kicking the table here.
Sorry, I had to lift my leg up.
It was it had an X rating back in the day initially.
It didn't seem to me, it wasn't as violent as like RoboCop or even Boogie Nights were pretty violent. I mean, it was violent, but
yeah,
looking back, there was a lot of more violent movies that came out in the 80s and 90s than Pulp Fiction was pretty violent.
And who was it? Michelle Pfeiffer, was it?
Yes.
And that was one of her early movies, but she didn't really play that big of a role, just kind of the rich bitch gold digger. And Al Pacino, of course, was the classic. That was when he was on top of the game. He had just done The Godfather.
He had done The Godfather like 10 years before that, but...
Yeah, he did that, I guess, 73. When
72,
did this movie come out?
83.
Oh, okay, so it had been 10 years, so... He was a great actor, I thought, back in his day. So we saw that. That was fun. It's about a 3-hour showing, but it was good. And that movie Marvels is really dying.
Good.
Because it's all woke of the 3 main characters are female.
Well, all these people bitch about these movies and they all go to see them. And it's like, just don't go. Like, if they keep losing money, eventually they'll have to rethink all this stuff.
I think so too. And let's see, we already got a couple page power chats, so thank you guys very much for this.
You have a new e-cat now.
Yeah, we do. Yes. Kim Anthony, $5. Hey, Paul and Sasha, have you seen the movie Kind Hearts and what is that?
Coronets?
Coronets, an English movie from 1949. A man must get rid of 8 of his relatives to become a duke. I have not seen that. Let me see if there's
I haven't seen it.
Let me see if we have that on here. We have like a trailer or whatever. Maybe we could watch that. So let me just see that. Kind Hearts and trailer. I haven't, Kim, but thank you for the recommendation. I actually do have it here. Let's see here. Yeah, let's take a look at the trailer here. See if we can see this here. Oh, we got to. And Ping Pong, I see you're in chat. We'll get you here in a second. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. Let me stop. Let me just share this here. Oh, it's not working here. Yeah. Wait a minute, it's not coming through our headphones, is it?
Nope.
Oh, dang it.
There he
is. The story of a young man's starting climb. I wonder if this music, I don't really care. I don't make any money on Night Owls anyway. If this copyright is copyright, I don't care. To the top of his family tree.
We've been away the whole weekend.
I had to go.
What?
See Mrs. Descorin, the widow. Her cousin of mine was killed.
all your cousins seem to get killed. I really wouldn't be in the least surprised if you murdered them all.
Oh, I bet he did murder them all. I wonder if it's a comedy or serious. What do you think,
Probably
Sasha?
serious.
Kind hearts and cornets.
Loud.
Have you heard of this guy, Dennis Price?
Nope.
Valerie Hobson? I never heard of her. Have you?
I think they said it's a British movie, so I probably haven't heard of most of these people.
And in an astonishing 8-role performance, I guess they save money by hiring this guy to do 8 different characters. It looks like fun, though. A lot of slaughter. Well, thanks. We won't watch the whole thing because it's kind of gets boring, but thank you for that. No, we haven't seen that, Kim, so maybe we'll check that out. So thank you. Would you recommend it? Kim Anthony, you are liked because you have a strong, independent mind. Stop pandering to these weak-minded assholes. Ooh, you don't like the bells? Okay, just fuck them. Was that our cowbell?
Probably, I don't
Oh,
know.
well, I still use a cowbell. I just try to be considerate and not be too loud with people.
Well, I think he's talking about the people that complain about it. Like,
Oh, well, no, yeah, I try to take feedback, but yeah, I still use the cowbell. We're here at the apartment, so I don't have them today, but thank you for that. But I have found that out a long time ago in doing videos. You can't please everyone, and that's not my goal. I just try to do what I think I'm interested in, and so that's what I do. Rusty McRusty, hey, Session Rams. Shasha, I think it'd be cool if you turn your dad's old place into an 80s toy themed B&B.
yeah, we talked about maybe doing something like that. I don't know. I have to worry about cleaning it up first.
Yeah,
It takes a lot of time. We did that yesterday, and
I think you guys, you don't understand. It's in this seriously bad shape. It'd take a lot to
I'd
be
have
able
to hire people to like fix
Yeah.
it.
I mean, Sasha and I went up this weekend. We made good progress cleaning it, but it needs major work. It needs new plumbing. It needs new air conditioning, heating. It really needs the whole thing.
Right.
And then you probably couldn't even do it because it's not up to code. At least stairs going to because it's built in like the 19th century, I think. Probably it's an old house.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stairs aren't up to code. It'd be difficult to do a B&B.
If I did it, I've got people send letters about doing that, like turning it into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, they don't understand.
Sometimes they do things though where they will allow you if it's built before a certain time, because
Yeah.
there's a restaurant in town that
That's
doesn't
true.
have like
Yeah.
wheelchair. You just yanked those out of my ears.
Well, sorry. I'm waiting here for you to come back
Sorry,
here.
it was messed up.
That's fine.
But it had wheelchair accessibility, or
Yeah.
it didn't, and they grandfathered it in when they changed the codes in
Right.
town.
Yeah, so maybe, who knows, but I doubt that will ever happen, but it's possible. Toy Store would be more likely. But thank you. All right. KMAX, not KMAX, let me see. Who was this here? Rowhouse. Rams, this clip will play for 1 minute explains how the party switched GOP working class Democrats and the super rich Democrats abandoned Sasha. Okay, let's just take a look at this here, and I'll share this.
But all right, let me ask it a different way. Do you think if we attacked it from the reverse angle, in other words, if we punish the employers,
Absolutely.
it would? And you think we should?
Oh, look, I am all for E-Verify. I would absolutely punish the employers, and I've introduced legislation to do that multiple times.
And what happened? Your party must not like that because we know cheap labor is good.
So, look, there are a lot of Republicans who don't like that. They're fewer, but I do think that the Republican Party is changing. I think we're becoming much more of a blue collar party, which I think is a very good thing.
Okay. This is for. They are switching, aren't they? Yes, it's interesting. The parties are kind of switching, like who the elitists are. It used to be the country club Republicans, and now it's the Chardonnay sipping Democrats.
Yeah.
I know you've written about it. It's an interesting do-si-do the parties do.
It's almost happened completely in Canada now. The Conservatives are basically the working class party in Canada.
Right.
Yeah. Look, the heart of the Republican Party are truck drivers and steel workers and cops and firefighters. And I think that is a fantastic shift. I think we should be the party of jobs. We should be the party of people who want to work hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've talked about this a little bit. Is we got 2 simulated
You have like 3 people waiting,
Yeah, we'll just I'm gonna
or 2, I
pop
guess.
one because we got one's a duplicate. So there we go. Yeah, I've talked about how the parties change over time. I look at the Republican Party as a party, at least in theory, that supports the old republic, the old America, whereas the Democrats are more into all kind of strange things like trans and all that type of stuff. So I think that's the biggest difference between them right now.
Mhm.
And it is interesting how the parties have switched from when I was younger. You have any thoughts on that, Sasha?
No, I mean, they have. I think they still have issues, both of them.
Okay, let's add ping pong. Ping pong, you're I could tell you're echoing. So can you put your headphones on? All right, ping pong. If you can, I can't have you on because I just hear you the echo. So when you get that fixed, come back in. It's kind of like the old Rush Limbaugh show when people called in. He always told them turn down that
Right.
radio, and it's the same type of thing here. So it's definitely that is a key thing. So yeah, row house, that is an interesting observation. You playing with the cat? How's the cat doing?
He's right there.
Well, come over, kitty. Come on over. So yeah, and let's see here. The other thing is we were watching some Beavis and Butthead this week. It was kind of fun. I hadn't watched that in a while, and Sasha had a DVD, and that was kind of fun. So we did that. And let's see. That's all I have. Sasha, did you have that newspaper? That was kind of fun.
Which one?
That
The
you found in your
Personals
house?
ads or the Sun magazine?
The Sun magazine.
Oh, I took it upstairs.
Oh, you did? Okay. I thought
because I have to put it in charcoal.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I can bring it back if you want. I know where it's at.
Okay, yeah, why don't you go get that?
All
Maybe
right.
we'll just take a look at that. So until then, yeah. And I did get a stream elements. $10. Scrawny Raisin cowbell GIF. Yes, thank you, the cowbell. And unfortunately, I don't have a cowbell here, but thank you for the $10. I was generous. Roman Senator Kissinger said, and this was from a day ago, so I don't know if it's for Night Owls, but I'll go over this. And Roman Senator Paragus, Kissinger said importing M3WIM was a mistake. Seems facetious. It's like it's way too late to fix a thing. Memes for you. Israel is our greatest Allah. The Greater Israel Project, the shittier everywhere else project. Good times, man. I'm not. Kissinger's like 100 years ago old, and I think a lot of people are seeing how uncontrolled immigration has been a disaster. So that is definitely a thing. So, all right. Well, Sasha, when she was in her home, you know, show the audience, she found this old magazine from I don't know if you guys remember that back in the time.
The best article is the one, boy force shipped 1,200 miles in a cardboard box. And the kid looks real happy too.
You ship 1,200 miles
There's
in a
no way in
cardboard.
hell they would let you ship a kid in a box.
Maybe put air holes or something. Could you do
There's
that
no
at
way.
eBay
You
or
couldn't
something
even do that
like
with
that?
an animal.
I know. So,
And I wonder if people actually believe this shit when it came out. I always just thought it was funny.
well, yeah.
when I
Let's
was a
take a
teenager.
look at some of these other things. I don't know if you guys remember this from back in the day. Let me just see so I can see this right.
Did you get that rant? You had a rant too.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Not from
That
Row
one?
House or someone
Oh,
else?
you already did that one, I guess.
Yeah, that was Row House. We went over
Okay.
that. Let's see. Parrot quotes passages from Holy Bible. All right. Well, let me just see if I got this up right here.
And there's an actual article inside about that.
Yeah. Is there? Well, you can make a parrot say anything, so that's it.
Right.
America discovers a happiness pill. What year was this from? Do you
I don't
remember?
know, 90s.
Was
Does
it?
it say right there, maybe?
Let me look this up. 1994, August 9th, 1994. And it
No,
was
that's my aunt's birthday.
yeah. Giant fish saves a man.
Looks dead on the cover.
Yeah, I know. I like some of these old things.
I do too. Remember they used to have the one, I think that was the Weekly World News though, and it was like Clinton backs alien, and it had Bill Clinton shaking hands with an alien. Do you remember that? Or
Yeah.
Alien backs Clinton. That's what it was.
And that doctor removes 156-pound tumor from a woman. Yeah, I like these old trashy stories. Now it's just in regular news is like this. So
There
who
it is,
cares?
talking parrot quotes Bible.
Yeah.
I guess they don't need those anymore because you can just go on the internet and get weird stories.
Well, yeah, and just the regular news is kind of, and I mean, you get all the transgender shit. You just go on the lips of TikTok,
Right.
and you see a lot of weird stuff. So yeah,
Black Magic Row hits Psychic City. There's a picture of a cat that looks like Mrs. Louise.
Oh, how funny! Curses.
I also found that newspaper from the late 90s from when I was in New York, and it has the classifieds in it. And
Yeah,
they're kind of funny because just the things that people ask for, and they don't really have those anymore either.
yeah, that's sort of changed. Everything's now, I guess, dating apps, and I heard that those are even getting out of disfavor because people are disenchanted with those. And
Oh yeah, here it is. A boy who loved playing in cardboard boxes was accidentally shipped 1,200 miles in the back of a huge truck when movers mistook him for household goods. It's like, come on, like he wouldn't be hollering or anything in there.
yeah, that'd be a lawsuit in real life if that happened.
Sci-fi fan Jackie Allen is undoubtedly the queen of Trekkies. She knows nearly everything about the original Star Trek TV series and can identify every one of Captain Kirk's adventures after viewing just seconds of any of the original 79 episodes.
That's just common now. That's on the internet. You have all these fandoms, people that understand all that
Her
stuff. Yeah.
home is a shrine to the sci-fi show packed with $8,000 worth of Star Trek memorabilia. That's a lot of money now. Imagine the 90s, how much money that would have been.
Yeah, probably
That would've
double.
been-
It'd be about $20,000
Yeah.
worth of stuff.
I classify myself as a #1 fan. She says, Captain Kirk is so sexy. I love my husband David dearly, but if I was offered a date with William Shatner, who plays Captain Kirk, I'd be there in a second. Beam her up, Scotty. So I guess her husband knows that if she was ever had a chance with him, that
He's still alive, you know.
yeah, he's pretty old.
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
Brando met him at a Star Trek convention.
Really?
Yeah, years
I
ago.
mean, he's kind of got the vibe. He's kind of a jerk in real life. I
Yeah,
don't know
me
why.
too. He
That's-
was kind of funny on that show Boston Legal, where he played a lawyer. Did
Was
you ever
he?
see that show?
No, I didn't.
Betty White was on some of the episodes too. James Spader was on it. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, see, now we have this. You don't have to. You don't have to get. You have the equivalent of the weekly world news, and let me just see if I
Like that
can.
one. The
Yeah, like
gorillas
this
are in
one.
a constant state of flatulation.
Yes. If you guys, so yeah, gorillas are in a constant state of flatulence. This is due to the bacteria in eating 40 pounds of vegetation they eat it daily. So, yeah, this is all. I think it's just became on the internet. Most of the stuff is trashy stuff now. So,
Well, magazines, a lot of them went out of print now too.
right,
So those were like the first casualties, I think, were those types of magazines.
yeah, I think so. So there's just
Because I found this little astrology book too
Mhm.
that was like 89 cents back in the day, and it had every day your like horoscope for every day,
Mhm.
and you don't need those anymore either because you can just look it up online.
Right. Yeah, I think it's really changed everything, and it's fun to look at all newspapers, what people were worried about back in the day, and how people thought and everything. So it was, it's kind of good. It's like going in a time machine.
It
I
is.
do like that. So yeah, and it's
Were you able to get those people on, or what was up with that?
no one person. If you could come back, they had the bad echo.
Oh, but there
Yeah.
was like 2 people up there, I thought.
Well, he jumped off on his own.
Okay.
So, yeah, if you could come on, make sure you're like on the headphones or you don't have it playing in the background, because otherwise it's just too much feedback that's happening. So, what else has been on your mind, Sasha?
I don't know. The debates, I guess, were last week, and that was better than last time as far as entertainment goes, but it
Yeah,
shows you how little like the politicians care about the Americans because they really don't.
No, it's all about. Oh, here we go. Maybe we can get ping pong again. See if he's echoing. Hey, ping pong.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Much better. You got the echo fix. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I had to go get some headphones. Sorry about that.
Please. What's on your mind?
Just reading through the UAW contract that they ratified.
Yeah. What about it?
Looks like everyone at the plant I'm at is set to get paid more, but they're also laying about half the staff off because
Oh wow.
they're not making as many cars right now.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, looks like through the winter it's going to be hard for the auto sector.
Yeah, that Ian, is this well then all the big three have the same wages in? Is that how it works?
Well, it's my understanding that they all came to their own agreements.
Right.
So this one in particular, I think, is for Chrysler.
Right.
So I think Ford just settled too.
Yeah, I saw that. So I didn't know if they were pretty similar. Are there any provisions not to outsource jobs, or was that a concern of the union?
You know, I don't know if they came to an agreement on that, but I know the GM was threatening to send some of their plants to Mexico
Right.
because of the strike. So yeah,
because you get the labor cheaper in Mexico. Yeah. I'm fine with them making more money. I don't have an issue with that. But the problem is how do you new cars are so expensive.
Yeah, I don't know how people can afford.
Yeah, you know, I got an ad in the paper the other day. The last project I was on was for the Ram trucks, and a brand new one I saw it posted in the paper is $37,000. And man, all these new cars, Grand Wagoneer, Broncos, people are buying them, I guess, because they're making tons of them. But I don't know how people are financing these new vehicles.
I know they're expensive.
Well, then you have to like pay them off for what, like 5
Well, I
years
think
or
most people
something?
now do payments.
They do,
and
but
then
still, you have to have full coverage and
yeah, you have full
expensive.
coverage and the whole bit on
and then the
that.
car payment you're stuck
Yeah.
with for like at least probably I would guess 4 to 5 years.
Oh
And then,
yeah,
and you're paying interest.
Yeah,
And
so by the time you
actually
get it
more.
paid off, it's worn out.
Yeah.
yeah, a new car payment now has got to be probably $500 to $700 on average.
Right.
Yeah, so how do people even afford it?
I guess some people make good money so they can afford it,
I
but
don't make good money, so.
yeah, me either. So yeah, that's crazy. So that's the only problem is makes it probably more unaffordable.
That's probably why they said
Yeah.
people can use cars now.
Right.
Because people can afford, and they're expensive too.
I heard those EVs, are they selling well? I heard they're not selling as well as they hope. Do you know?
Well, I've been seeing them a lot around here, but not in like huge numbers. I don't know. I don't think a whole lot of people can afford like Teslas or Rivians. I've seen them around, but I think that's more of a rich people thing right now.
Yeah, don't all three auto manufacturers make them? I thought that's kind of a
Oh
push
yeah,
by the government. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Ford has the Lightning now, and I've seen that around. I think they're making an electric Silverado. I don't think that's out yet, but that was actually one of the things in the union contract they cited against giving the union what they were asking for, is that the cost of building these new plants and basically setting up production of a totally new kind of vehicle was so expensive they couldn't afford to give them what they were asking for. But you know, we'll see where all of it goes. I mean, I mean, people had to eventually ask for more money, you know, because of inflation.
Right.
But I can also understand why they wouldn't want to. I think they were asking for like a 25% increase across the board. So that's a pretty steep, increase in the labor costs. That's all going to get offset to these vehicles. I wish that they would just start taking some of these features out of the vehicles. I mean, for myself, I don't need a whole lot of amenities in my car. I wish they'd take these touch screens out and all these things that add the cost to the consumer, because I think
I
they're
agree.
gonna
Me
have to
too.
start doing that eventually. Because I mean,
Yeah.
who can afford to keep buying $37,000 trucks?
Yeah, I had an old car from my mother, 2003 Corolla Toyota. We still have it because she hardly drove it. And talk about just a basic no frills car that everything, roll down the windows the old
Yeah,
fashioned way. And it's really nice just getting around town, and
it is.
it's
It's had a
reliable.
few small problems, but even the problems we've had to take it in for weren't. They were kind of like things that we could have let slide,
Right.
but
Yeah.
went ahead and fixed them. But it had still. I mean, it's a nice car. I had a Honda that was like that. That was just a good car. It was like from 2003, and it finally like crapped out on me. But then I found out, because I had to take it to people that specialize in electrical stuff for cars, that they think it was like a Hurricane Katrina car
We
that
got
Oh, yeah.
somebody
flooded. Yeah.
patched up. But it lasted me 5 years, and I didn't pay a lot for it. And just the fact that I was able to drive it that long, and it being like a car that was underwater, because I didn't really have any problems with it till it
Mhm.
finally died. I drove it
Right.
like for 5 years until the very end. It didn't do anything, but
Yeah, there's people that make a lot of money on those hurricane damage, flood damage vehicles. I've got a truck that was a flood damaged vehicle, and the guy I bought it from specialized in flood damage repair, and he was able to turn a lot of the insurance or write-offs into working vehicles. Made a lot of money doing that, saving the value.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
it's cool if they actually fix them up.
Yeah.
But like my car, I think they just patched it up enough to
You had
like,
so much electrical
Oh, yeah.
problems with it.
right,
Yeah.
because the people were like, it's not going to be worth it to fix it. And they said even if they did fix it, they didn't necessarily couldn't guarantee that it would
Right.
run for long. And my friend was in his house burned down like 3 years ago, and he's been having problems with his car. And I guess like we take our cars the same people, and his car was in the shop the same time that Paul's was. And I was talking to him about it, and they think it was because of that fire that maybe it messed some stuff up, because his car's been like nonstop lately having to take the shop. And they fixed it. The insurance did, but I think he thinks they only kind of fixed the exterior where it had melted,
Mhm.
but the interior they just kind of patched it up. And because he didn't
Could
get
be.
to choose where it went, it was one of those
Yeah.
things like the insurance said you have to go to this place because they
Right.
specialize in
Yeah.
body work or whatever. And so I don't know if they actually can fix the car, but if they just, here's the electrical tape, we'll patch it up, and
Well,
then
more and
before
more
you know it,
people
your
are
car's messed
more and
up.
more people are keeping older cars now because of how expensive new cars
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
Well, and then they
Oh,
want to
yeah.
put that kill switch in cars that are made after 2025. I'm not even want to drive a car like that.
I saw that. Did you see that? That there's a story in it. I thought it was like fake news, but a congressman actually tweeted it that all cars made after 2026 have like a kill switch. Like if you're
Driving too fast or something.
yeah,
Oh, man.
I can't believe that's
What
true.
happens if you hit a deer, or what happens if somebody
Well, I would
slams
think
into
there'd
you?
be
Or,
such liability by the auto manufacturer if they just shut your car off while you're
Yeah.
driving. So I mean, you say then you
what if some psycho was chasing
Yeah.
them behind? There's so many situations I would want to be able to drive my own car.
yeah.
And not like, and then that's just the government having way too much control over your life.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know if how many people buy those, but I'm sure a lot of people be okay with it. Like, it's a
Ooh,
safety
yeah.
thing. We love safety. We'll give our freedoms all up for safety.
Yeah.
I mean,
I kind
they
of
did it
miss the
with
old
other
cars.
things.
Just roll down the windows and drive.
Me
you know?
too.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, some of it is nice. I have to admit, because I drove we rented the cars, and the cars that pretty much drive themselves are kind of fun.
Yeah, but then they like beep at you. Like you rented a car.
Oh, well,
Remember that? And if you got
yeah.
too close to the people in front of you, the thing would like make a noise
it
or
does.
slow
Yes.
down.
Yeah. It does. And
It's kind of irritating.
yeah. Well, it also made sure that you keep a hand on the wheel because it drove itself. I was on the
Yeah.
highway and I didn't even need to keep my hand on the wheel.
See, somebody that's a really bad driver, like my friend Brandon, he could use a car like that drives
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
Hope he's not watching right now. Brandon, I don't really mean that you're a horrible driver. Well, everybody knows it anyway.
yeah, it's okay.
Because sometimes he does watch the show.
Oh, good. Well, hi, Brandon, if you're watching. So, all right. Anything else, ping pong?
Nope. No, I think
right.
I'm good.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Yep.
And
Good talking.
yeah, call in again.
Yep.
And
All
guys, if you want to, let me just kick him here. If you guys want to come in as part of this, just join the Gum Road. It's a great, only $5 a month, and you guys can call in my show and Night Owls. And someone said, Base, why haven't you been on Kumio's show yet? Well, I think that's the question for Kumio, not me.
Yeah.
If he invited me, I'll go on it. But
well, he wanted to be on your show,
yes.
right? And then you invited him and he just kind of ghosted you. So
he did. So I don't know. I'm not going to beg. I don't really care. I
Right.
mean, I'll be happy to, but I'm not going to beg about it. Pete, $3. Now that Karlin Borishenko is starting to praise Nick Fuentes, what kind of grift
Huh.
should we prepare for? You know, Karlin Borishenko is a woman I never
Is
think
that a
about,
woman?
but she keeps coming up, and it's real weird. It's like a bad penny. You just can't get rid of. You know,
It's
she
like
just
a
keeps.
he is like a bad penny.
She is, and I don't really understand her appeal, and I don't hate her. I just don't think about her.
Yeah, I
But
forget all about her, and then people bring her up.
She
'cause she's
came
not
out
that-
because she started, just for the audience. I know Sasha, you remember, but she was one of the early. She used to be on the left, and then she went to the right, and she made her career being against CRT, and she did the usual. We got to be against CRT, not because it's anti-white, but because it's bad for Black people.
Yeah.
And I said, that's ridiculous. We should be able to say, no, we're against it because this is a blood libel against our people. You want to tolerate with this any other race, teaching children of any other race that the race is horrible.
Right.
And she said, oh, you can't do that. That'd be white supremacy.
Huh.
And so she got in a big fight with me, and I kind of ignored it mostly. And now I guess she's Nick Fuentes fan.
I heard on other things, I guess, that they're like buddies now.
Weird.
I don't know if that's true, but because I don't follow either one of them.
That is a strange look. I never thought she would do that because I thought she was more of the.
She just goes like the guy said, from one grift to another. She's supposed to be a leftist, then she was on the right. She grifted off them, and then she said she was a libertarian. Remember, she ran.
Oh yeah, like Sticks. Yeah.
And then she got mad at Sticks, I think, because she was all kissing Sticks' butt, and then I think he said something to piss her off. This was a few months ago.
Yeah,
because I saw it on Twitter. Like you said, she always pops up. You don't even think about her, and she'll get in a random fight. I'm sure they'll get in a fight next. So what's she grifting off the dissident right now? Like
I don't even
like after all the shit she did with you and everything.
I don't watch her videos. I don't even know if she's on X or Twitter. I really don't. I don't follow her. Do you?
She used to be on Twitter, but I don't know if she still is.
She just doesn't interest me, and I don't mean that as like have this anger towards her. I just don't think about her. So I have no idea. Someone like that a little bit. Some people may get mad, but I always thought Pearly things did kind of the grift too.
She is.
And,
well, like if you look at her Kiwi Farms thread, and I know you can't always believe Kiwi Farms, but somebody that was supposed to be her friend, I guess, best friend, they're not friends anymore, but she did some video about her, and it was on Kiwi Farms, and she was talking about how she was grifting, and she doesn't believe half the shit she says. She just realized she can make money off these incel guys.
Right.
And it's like, I think it works because they're always on there praising her, because she'll say stuff that, like about women, and then they'll ask her, like she said, oh, it's okay for men to cheat and stuff, and then somebody's like, well, would you want your boyfriend or husband cheat? And she's like, well, no. And it's like, well, you just said it's okay if they do, but not for you. So it's kind of like one of those things. She'll tell people like, oh, women shouldn't vote, but it's okay for me to vote. And it's like, well, you're a woman, bitch. Like, what are you talking about?
To me, she came out of nowhere. I had no idea who she was. And I just first ran into her because she had Nick Fuentes on. She got in a lot of trouble about that.
Then she started.
And I always thought she was like a leftist or something originally. And now she's just about how women suck as her whole.
Yeah. And it upsets women on Twitter.
Well, and she gets engagement then.
Right.
She makes money on that.
Yeah. She's a grifter. I think her father's her manager.
Yeah.
According to Kiwi. Well, it could be bullshit because it's Kiwi.
Well, she's got a staff.
Yeah.
And so she's like.
Well, her mom wrote a book. And her parents, she came from money. She's kind of almost like a baked Alaska where there's a bunch of them and they were adopted. I think she was a biological child, but she came from like a lot of kids. And I think that her parents had money. That's what I read. So her whole thing is she's fake, but people still follow her. I try to kind of tell people that. And then you see the same people on Twitter like praising her. And it's like, okay, guys, she doesn't care about you. She's just playing a grift, like you said.
I agree. So I didn't want to keep track of those. Some of those people have become very right wing, like Laura Chen. It's becoming more Ramsey Paul than Ramsey Paul. It's funny how that happens.
I don't even look at that stuff much on Twitter. I follow more like nostalgia stuff because it's happier. Or
Yeah.
cats with jobs. I like those because they'll have cats like working cash registers.
Well, yeah,
and stuff.
sometimes I get
That
some of
stuff's a
the,
lot more fun than like having to read all these like left and right wing people. It just like gives me a headache.
yeah, it gets a little bit of I get it because like the whole Gaza versus the Jewish people against the Palestinians or the Muslims. It's just like to hell with all of you. You know what I mean? I just don't. It shouldn't be our fight.
It should be we care about America.
We really should. And like I said, there was those Palestinians in New York City climbing up and tearing down American flags,
Mhm.
and screw them. You know what I mean?
And
And
it's
I am sympathetic with them to a degree, but I don't think I am not for bringing them all over here. Or anything
no,
like
and that's
that.
their plan, I'm sure.
It is.
And I
So
love AIU's videos, but man, he just obsessed with like the Israel stuff now, and it's like, no, you have to choose, and it's like, no, we don't. Like, I love you, guy. You make good videos, but
mhm.
I'm not gonna watch if it's just gonna be constantly about like Israel and
Right.
Palestine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we should worry about America. We have enough issues. And I told you that I listened to Ron Paul, and they were saying that. And I'm not like a big person for this type of stuff either, because they're kind of against it because they're libertarians. But SNAP was a
Mhm.
program to help like poor
Right.
people get food. It's some type of food stamp program. And they said, normally we're not for that either. But the thing is, they want to cancel that, get rid of that. And what it costs to get that going is what they're going to give to Israel.
Oh wow.
And it's kind of like, well, we can give them money, but you can't help feed poor people here when food is so
Right.
crazy expensive. And it's like, shouldn't we pay taxes, a lot of taxes.
Mhm.
Shouldn't we be able to keep some of the money or have the money go to help us? How does
No,
our
I
money
think that'd
go
be
to help
I think that's
Israel, and
anti-Semitic.
how
if you
does
don't,
that go over to Ukraine and go to
yeah, I know. It's
all
just
these countries? How does that help us? It doesn't. And then you hear these idiots like the Republican debate, oh, they're gonna, if you don't stop Putin, he's gonna invade Poland. No, he's not.
no. He
If he
is.
was gonna do that, why didn't he already do it?
He has no because they're lying because
know?
they make everything into World War II Hitler repeat, and it's not. It's really pathetic. It's really juvenile. It's stupid, and it's so frustrating.
It
Man.
is.
I don't know if they are really that stupid or they just pandering, but
They're
it is
pandering. I think they're getting paid. Like sometimes I really.
because whether you like it or not, there are issues. It's not like Putin wants to take over the world. However you want to come out on the Ukraine, it looks like, by the way, he's winning now.
Mhm.
But
Who's winning?
Russia.
Oh, they've been winning.
Yeah, and so the whole idea is he wants the Donbass in Ukraine because it's historically Russian, according to them, and the majority of people there are Russian ancestries, and they voted to be part of Russia. They don't want to be part of Ukraine. Now, if you're Ukraine, you could say, yeah, but that's because all the pro-Ukrainian people didn't feel safe there and they left. I don't know, but it's not like he's just gone crazy and wants to take over the world.
But that's why I think it was Chris Christie said that during the debates. And I'm like, really? But the thing is, a lot of stupid people will fall for this. Like I was talking to Brandon about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing.
Yeah.
Because some of these stupid celebrities like Reese Witherspoon was saying he should have gone to prison. And it's like, bitch, he was defending himself. And we were talking about that. And he said he works with people that thought that he killed a black guy.
Oh, that is
and
the
they really
biggest
believe
myth.
that
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the problem with America. Most people are very uninformed about what the hell is going on.
Right.
And it's like, most of the media lies about everything. So, and the right wing doesn't seem much better than the left anymore. I mean, what outlets do you have? Fox News is a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's places on the internet you can look up, but the average person's not going to look that up.
It is amazing how that Kyle Rittenhouse kills some black guys.
Yeah, and it was a Jewish guy.
Yeah, I know. And he was a criminal.
Yes. He was a child molester.
He was a pedophile. Yeah, it was. So it's ridiculous. But it's amazing how people get these myths in their heads and they really believe them.
Yeah, well, because somebody will tell somebody something and nobody fact checks anything, unless you're like us, and then you're fact checking stuff. But average person is not going to.
Well, even how the media portrayed that whole Kyle Rittenhouse incident, I know we covered it, but they portrayed it like there were just peaceful protesters, like with, marching, protesting George Floyd or whatever. And this evil Nazi got a gun and decided to randomly shoot people.
Right.
And that's not what happened. He was attacked. and they don't. Yeah, it's just so
Well,
frustrating.
like I saw these idiots. This is another reason I have to stay away from some of this stuff on Twitter. I saw some of these idiots saying that the Central Park Five were innocent.
Yeah.
And AIU did this whole video talking about this. These guys were confessing to doing it. And it's
Mhm.
like, I don't know how they got out of jail. And then Oprah and all these idiots, oh,
they're
they're
black, yeah.
innocent. It's like, no, they raped a woman, almost killed the woman.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. And then Trump's the bad guy because he said they should be in prison. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Trump's right.
ETNM, I'm UAW. We're back to full time at my plant. Contract isn't ratified yet because all the votes aren't in yet. My plant voted yes, 57%, no, 43%. Yeah, if I was in the UAW, I'd be really working on long-term job security, not outsourcing, and trying to limit how much robots will replace jobs, I would
Yeah.
think. So
Then I'm sure it'll happen. I mean, it's even happened at like
Mhm.
Walmart with the self.
well, they do have
all that
robotics
stuff.
already.
They
yeah.
do.
Yeah. So that is the key thing there.
Because
So
that's what's his name? What was the Asian guy talked about that? Yang talked
Yeah.
about that's a problem that nobody wants to talk about.
But number one would be, I think this is, if you care about American or national defense, it's not a good idea to deindustrialize our country, send it all to Mexico or
No.
China. So
Buddy's playing with an
I
earplug.
see that.
How'd you even get that, buddy?
So yeah, that was
Did you
that.
get all the chats? Because I thought I saw one earlier. Maybe you got them all.
Did I miss one? If I did, let me
Maybe you
know.
got them all.
I think
You
I got
got
them all.
the Kumia one. And did you get the cowbell gif from Scrawny Raisin?
I did. Thank you.
Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't
thank
hear
you
that
for
one.
that. I really do
Okay, so
appreciate
you're
that.
caught up then.
Yeah. So
Oh, nope, you have a rant, KMX said.
oh, I do have a rant. Okay, so let me check the rant. So thank you,
Too bad they
KMX.
can't all just show up in one spot.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did that one.
Oh,
No, I didn't do this one. This was sorry, KMX, because it's both yellow. Row house here. Let's take a look. AFI's top 100 and villains, heroes and villains. Okay, we'll take a look at this.
the cat that I see do any exercise around here.
Let's see here. Number one, Atticus Finch, and he was To Kill a Mockingbird. I heard that was a horrible book. I didn't read it. I guess it was just it's kind of like an anti-white book, right? They were trying to.
Well, I think it was like I read it, but I don't really
Mhm.
remember it because it was like years ago. It's like a black guy gets
falsely accused or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So started that myth.
I
yeah.
don't think it was that great. People were like, "Oh, it's the best book ever." It's like, no, you're just
Yeah.
told to like it when you're in high school or whatever.
Right. It was a political. So even back in 1962, they started that. Indiana Jones was the second best hero. James Bond is a cooler hero, in my
Don't care
opinion.
about him either.
Rocky Balboa, that was
I
a
like
good one.
Rocky.
George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life.
You
I don't.
skipped Ellen Ripley.
Han Solo. I like Han Solo.
I know Paul's just skipping people right and left.
Oh, who did you miss?
Oh, you skipped Ellen Ripley from Aliens.
Oh,
movies.
yeah,
She was
yeah.
cool.
Then let's see who else the numbers that.
Robin Hood.
Yeah. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. They're kind of like anti-heroes. They're
I never
actually the
saw it.
outlaws. Spartacus.
Never
Yeah.
saw it.
Superman.
Thelma and Louise. I like Thelma and Louise
Bob
too. They were
Woodward.
anti-heroes too.
And Carl Bernstein. Yeah.
Superman was good.
Yeah. George Patton.
Never saw it.
Yeah. Tarzan.
Never saw it.
You know what? They were just talking about this. I never saw this movie.
Serpico.
Yeah,
It's good.
Serpico.
I think I got a copy of it somewhere. We could watch it.
Yeah, we should do that. Oh, you like this one, didn't you? Silkwood, Karen Silkwood.
Oh yeah, that's a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
She was from Oklahoma, you know.
I didn't know that. No.
I think it was Oklahoma.
Okay, best villains: Hannibal Lecter,
Yeah, he was a good villain.
Norman Bates. Yeah.
He was good.
Although that'd be transphobic now. Darth Vader's the best villain ever. Just he's so
I don't
fun.
know if he's the best villain ever.
Who's better?
I don't know.
You
Maybe
know.
the Wicked Witch of the West.
She was
under
good.
him. I like her.
Yeah, that was good. Nurse Ratched. She was.
She was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of those women around. Tell you
do.
that.
Well, my neighbor.
I know. So, yeah. Sasha has a real. I hate to use the term Karen because it's overused, but she really is.
Well, what it was this bitch was complaining because our parking lot's kind of small, but there's always parking spots. And if
We're
Paul's
talking, by the
here-
way, the apartment, just so they're
Yeah,
clear, people
and if
listening.
Paul's here, like we park in the row closest to the apartment where we live.
And there's no assigned parking.
There's not assigned parking. There never has been. And I've lived here 12 years. There was never any issues. And then this bitch blocked me in where I couldn't even move the car because she was mad because she couldn't park here. And there were other spots. And so I caught her the second time because I didn't know who it was. And then my neighbor told me, he said, it's this bitch. And so I caught her pulling in behind me once we were going to get lunch. And I said, hey, you can't park behind me like that. And she goes, I left you enough room. And I said, you blocked me in one day. We got into it. And the bitch never apologized or anything. Well, then she kept complaining. And my next door neighbor, he's kind of like, he's a nice guy, but it's like a pushover. Like he complains about her. He doesn't like her, but he'll walk her dogs when she's at work. And she has these big dogs too. And it makes me think she's not even walking her dogs because she was too lazy to walk one row over to the apartment. So the manager came over today and just asked if when Paul's here, if he can park like further away because this bitch was complaining. And I told the manager, and she's cool. She thought it was stupid. She's just trying to keep the peace, you know. But she said, I've never had people complain about the parking lot ever in all the years I've been
it's
manager.
so stupid of all the things
It
to
is.
complain about. Because if you guys knew the parking lot here, it's not huge.
It's tiny. I said, it's not like you're going to a concert and you have to park far away and walk. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Put it this way, the farthest spot from where the door is here would take you how long to walk? 30 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating.
And you're not like in the road. We have an actual lot. Because
Right.
I know someone that has to park on the street, and that's kind of scary because people just zoom by. So it's not even like bad at all. But this bitch thinks she needs a spot. And I don't like it when people kind of tell you what to do. I just want to pay my rent, be left alone.
Right.
And when they start that assigned parking bullshit, that shit pisses me off. And the neighbor was mad about it too. But like I said, he kisses her ass instead of saying, fuck off, bitch, because that's what I would do. But same with the manager, it's like, just tell her, say, hey, we don't have assigned parking here. Tough shit. The rent's cheap enough here. If the bitch gets mad, moves away, you'll get a new person that's probably going to be less trouble because she was tired of this bitch complaining. So she did it again yesterday. So on a Sunday, like the manager, she's really nice, but knocked on the door and complained. But this woman's just, I hate people like that. Just
yeah,
park
if
and
you
walk.
guys were watching in our gum roads today or watched it, that's the bar, because she knocked on the door. So if you're wondering what that was,
but
her.
it just pisses me off. Like these people like complain and start trouble, and it's like she has these two monster dogs, and it's like if you're too lazy to walk one row over, what are you walking your dog? That's kind of what I said to the manager. And it's like, good point.
Yeah, she was. There's just some people have too much time on their hands.
They do.
To worry about that.
I mean, to go off on a tangent about her.
No, but it is true
guys
because
know,
there's never been assigned parking here.
never. And that's
First
what I
come,
like about
first
it.
serve.
Yes.
And so, bitch, just park back one
That's
row
pretty
back.
much what I told her.
It's just
too.
another 10-second walk. It's not like a huge mall where you have to walk 5
Right,
minutes.
exactly. And she's got those dogs.
I
Dogs
know.
need to be walked, and you're keeping them cooped up in your house all day and asking my pushover neighbor to walk them. And he was out there, like, when we came home, the bitch was like kind of in the way, and I didn't even say excuse me. I thought, if my backpack bumps into her, oh well, let the bitch start something. And so we're walking in there, and I heard him say, well, I'll talk to you about it tomorrow. And I thought, just grow a freaking spine.
Right.
I got accused of being an asshole a week or two ago. Or one of my friends, maybe it was Brandon, joked about how I'm an asshole. And I'm like, at least I'm not a pushover.
Right.
Like people like that, you don't like these people, but then you kiss their ass and act all fake about it. I would have just been like, no, I'm not going to walk you damn dogs.
Yeah.
Because I don't think she pays them. It's like, fine,
No.
fork over some green and maybe we'll do that.
Yeah. I don't know. She's just how old would you say she is?
She's probably in her 60s.
Short hair, kind of grumpy, kind of fat.
Ugly, rotten teeth,
Yeah.
fat.
So there you go.
Lives alone.
Yeah.
You get the
Angry
idea. No
at the
friends.
world. Angry at the world.
She has to buddy up with all the people outside.
I bet she voted for Biden.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
She was probably into the masks and all that.
Oh,
too.
I bet she would have been. She would have been one of these ladies that ran at you if you didn't have your mask on.
She would have. Just the kind of person, if it wasn't illegal to do it, just punch her in the face. Like she's got that punchable face.
Yeah. Of course, we don't want to do that, but
No,
you just have that feeling to do it.
Yes. She just looks like somebody that a fist would go nice with her face.
Yes. Okay, we'll go back to villains. Let's see here.
Okay. Oh, I see. There's a good villain. You skipped one.
Where?
Alex Forrest is like a really good villain.
Yeah.
From Fatal Attraction. She was evil, killing a kid's bunny and everything.
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
Reagan
Psycho.
McNeil. Well, she was
she wasn't-
she was like the
yeah.
victim.
She was a good character. She just, like you said, was possessed.
Michael Corleone, he was
Okay.
like a hero a little bit because he's like the anti-hero. I mean, it's
Yeah, they were bad guys, Paul. They were gangsters.
yeah,
still.
but you weren't rooting
You skipped
against
the
them.
evil queen. She's a good bad guy too. I mean, she sent the
Oh, yeah.
woodsman to kill Snow White and bring
Yeah.
her heart back to her. That's pretty hardcore.
Well, HAL 9000, you didn't watch
No.
2001: Space Odyssey, but I think the machine was just misunderstood. I'm just trying to. Oh, the shark in Jaws.
The alien and aliens.
Yeah.
That's kind of pushing it a little bit.
Yeah. The Terminator, was he a bad guy?
Yeah. In
Yeah,
the
okay.
first one. In the second one, he's not.
I'm just kind of
I
growing.
can't believe you've never seen the Terminator. We need to make that. But of course,
Yeah.
you might not like it. I don't know. It's a good movie. It's James
Mhm.
Cameron movie.
Oh, Taxi Driver, Travis Bickle. I
never
never
seen
saw
that
that. Was he a
either.
villain?
He was kind of an anti-hero too.
Okay, kind of, yeah. Let me just see. Count Dracula and Dracula. Yeah. Let's see here. Top Freddy Krueger.
Oh, Freddy Krueger's awesome. He should be up higher than
Mhm.
40.
Joan Crawford in
Aw.
Miami Dearest.
Come on. Like,
Yeah.
really? She didn't kill anybody.
The Joker, Jack Nicholson. Yeah,
Oh, he
he's
was good. I
Yeah.
love Jack Nicholson's Joker.
I'm just, yeah. Well, thank you for this
Wait,
list.
who's that last one? Training Day. I never saw that. Never saw Goldfinger. Oh yeah, the guy, Usual Suspects villain was good.
Yeah. So, oh, we got a one from Robert RT for Robert, $3. What is the future of Fayetteville, Arkansas? Demographically, is it being swallowed up? The Asa Hutchinson GOP there will not prevent demographics.
Well, he's not the governor anymore.
No, but he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Paul just needs to run there in his name, his platform. Well, okay. Well, I'm going to kind of just break this up and Sasha can correct me. I know you said Robert Fayetteville, but I assume you mean Northwest Arkansas in general. So there's basically, you can think of it this way. There's Fayetteville, and then you expand out, there's Northwest Arkansas, and then further out, there's the rest of Arkansas. They're all very different. Fayetteville does not have much in common with the rest of Northwest Arkansas because Fayetteville is a college town, it's liberal. And in fact, of all, Arkansas always is a very red state. This area all votes Republican, except for Fayetteville votes Democrat.
Well, I think, yeah, maybe Eureka Springs too. I
Yeah.
don't
So Fayetteville's a little bit different. So no, my platform would not be popular in Fayetteville. This is all
know. You would
about.
get booted out of Fayetteville probably if you had a platform here.
They'd probably,
There's a lot of shit lives in Fayetteville.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
a-
Fayetteville though. I mean, it's a nice.
It's not as bad as Berkeley or like
No,
Boulder,
there's still
Colorado,
some
but it's
conservative
I mean, if you
people.
yeah, there is. I don't want to get you. It's not like left wing like Berkeley, but it is for Arkansas's left wing. You'll see a lot of LGBTQ flags up.
There's a lot of gay people, but there were gay people here
Yeah.
before. I mean, when I moved here in the 90s, this was considered, I don't know if it is anymore, but it was number 2 per capita
Mhm.
after San Francisco for gay people. And my friend Mark said when he moved here in the 70s, there were a lot of gay people then too.
Yeah, it's a
So
college town.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was like more than
Yeah.
most college towns as far as gays go.
And it's so I would say Fayetteville, just asking your question, is liberal, and the rest of it, this area is pretty conservative. And the demographically in the 1970s, I looked it up. This area was almost 100% white. The first thing that changed it is there's Tyson Chicken in Springdale, and they got a lot of immigrants from Mexico. And
Yeah.
Springdale's heavily Mexican right now,
Yeah,
and
and it has been for a while.
it has been for a while, even before I was here. And now recently, up in Bentonville and Rogers, you're getting a lot of Indians from India.
because of Walmart.
Yeah. And so that's another big demographic that's happening. So it has changed quite a bit, but it's still, compared to the rest of the country, pretty white. Although if you go into Walmart, some places you wouldn't know it, but
Right.
yeah.
K-Max wanted to know where Kumar ran. He's not from Fayetteville. I believe he lives in Bentonville.
Yeah, he was running for Womack's seat. That's
Yeah.
Northwest Arkansas. And in Northwest, I think all our representatives are Republican. And if he won the primary, he would have won.
Mhm.
But he kind of, you remember they were trying to, he was like even more based than Vivek.
Yeah.
He was Indian, but very right wing.
Yeah.
And the Republican machine just prevented him
They
from.
did. That's what I mean. It's all rigged.
It is. It's so.
Sorry,
Most-
I don't know if you can say that on.
No, you
YouTube.
can. What it is just not many seats are really even competitive in the United States. It's either Republican or Democrat, and to win the primary, it's up for the party. They don't have to. They could pick. They can filter who they want to run. So, it's so to answer, I think just Paul needs to run there. Well, I don't think. Well, who knows? Things are changing, but I think the official party would not want me in because oh no, we see he's a white supremacist.
They wouldn't
or
let
something.
you in. Like
Yeah.
they try to stop anybody that's like
Yeah.
doesn't go along with Israel, and
Oh yeah,
you'd have to be part of the war machine. And
yeah.
you
So-
don't, and they want rich people. Most people run have a lot of money.
So Robert, in order for me to run, I'm not interested in it, but I'd have to run as a Republican because that's who can win.
right.
And to get through the Republican Party, they filter. They just want,
Right.
kind of Lindsey Graham types.
I
or
kind of
whatever.
almost point where I hate the Republican Party too.
It is.
And that's all these
frustrating.
people bitching like about
Yeah.
Ohio, and it's like,
Mhm.
well, I mean, the same people were shitting on like marijuana was legal. Well, yeah, because people want to be able to do what they want and be left the fuck alone. Until you understand that, you're not going to win.
Well, and also it's just not even ideological. There's a lot of money, and you got to have connections.
Right.
And some people, they may want to run for office, and they're like they donate a lot of money to the party, or they're a doctor, or they're a
Right.
lawyer, or they're a big car dealer, and so really, this has always been the biggest myth about America, that anyone can grow up and be president. And no, you got to go through a certain route.
I just heard something recently. I was listening to some book and they said that. I don't remember what it was. And it's like, yeah, right. But I don't know. In the abortion thing too, it's like, yeah, everybody knows that abortion's wrong, but these people are going to do it anyway. And the Republicans should just maybe move to the way Trump did about jobs and walls, and they don't do that. They focus on stuff that most people are kind of moderate about. Or
I thought what Chris Christie said, I'm not a fan of his, but in the debate, that's one thing I did like what he said. He said, well, the Republicans for years were arguing that Roe versus Wade. See, a lot of people don't understand, even I'm sure a lot of the left, because people are dumb. They think the Supreme Court made abortion illegal now.
right,
And they didn't. They just said it's up to the states.
which is what it should be.
Right.
Really.
And so if you, the official Supreme Court position is just abortion is not in the Constitution. So if California wants to murder a child to the 9th month, they can. If Arkansas wants to prohibit all abortions, they can.
Right.
And that was always a Republican position, is it should be a states' right issue. And we won on that now. And sure, there's going to be some states that go crazy, but those need to be state fights.
Right.
And, that's how I think it should be. So I don't really think that the Republicans need to fight that issue. They should just say, no, we agree. It should be up to the states.
Yeah. Because I mean, in Arkansas, I think it's illegal now.
I'm
They
not really
changed
quite
it. It
sure
was
yet.
to 20 weeks before the Supreme Court thing, but I think now it's legal.
Let me just do
I
a
know that
quick,
there used to be an abortion doctor in Fayetteville, and he left, but that was, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. And so you'd have to go to like Little Rock to get one.
yeah, I'm just trying to see here. New law bans almost all abortions in Arkansas.
Yeah.
The only exception is let me see here.
It's cases of rape or incest.
Yeah. So it's very, yeah, it is.
Right.
We are very restricted. But see, then you go to Colorado, so to the 9th month.
Right. Or New Mexico. I think it's pretty,
I've always been, and this has always been my position. This is one of those issues. I think in reality, I first of all, at the 9th month, that's just barbaric. The
It
baby
is.
can feel pain. But if you get like within the first month or two, it's still just a little feet. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
really formed. So I think there's some people are kind of a
well,
compromise.
that's what Joe Rogan used to say.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong personally.
Yeah, I do too.
But at the same time, these same Republicans, they don't want to pay for the kid when they get out either. It's kind of like, well, you're on your own. Like they don't believe in like welfare or, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can say people should be careful, but once it happens, and people are going to be people aren't careful, and
Yeah,
it
I get
happens,
that.
and
The only problem with that argument would be like, oh, well, should we allow 2-year-olds to be killed because otherwise it'd be on welfare? And I get it. So,
right.
John, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just think they should like maybe veer away from the abortion thing and the marijuana thing. If you don't want to smoke pot, don't smoke pot, but don't try to like stop everybody else. Because I've seen so many hypocrites on Twitter last week talking about that, and every one of them are pro alcohol. It's like at least be consistent. If you want to be like, hey, I don't drink. I don't believe you should do any type of drug or whatever. Fine. I have more respect for that than these people. They're like, my drug of choice is okay, but yours is not. I just can't stand people like that. And I see a lot of that with the Republicans. At least the people
most
on
things
Twitter.
in life that is on a continuum. Like, okay, I mean, where do you draw the line? Do you allow cocaine? Do you allow
why
fentanyl?
not? I don't care anymore. If they want to kill themselves, do it. Don't give a shit.
But it has, I mean, in China, they had a whole war over it because in real life it destroys societies.
Yeah, but marijuana is not cocaine. Marijuana is not
Right,
heroin.
but that's
and if
why
you're
I
going
asked.
to do that,
That's why I asked,
alcohol,
where do you draw the
alcohol
line?
should be illegal then too. Maybe at mushrooms.
I'm just asking where to draw the line. And so
Mushrooms.
and I'm not even talking about illegal drugs. I'm just talking about anything in general. There's always a continuum. You gotta.
Right.
It's sort of like the age of consent. It's like, whoa. How come you can have sex at 18 but not 17 on the 364 days? That's stupid. Well, you got to draw a line somewhere.
Right.
I mean, so and that's just the nature of it's sort of a logical fallacy. Like, well, if we do this, we have to do this or whatever.
Right.
So it's like if you want to do an extreme example is, well, should we have any laws at all? Because if we have laws against murder, couldn't they make a law against wearing a hat?
Right.
Well, they could, but see, they're not. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying,
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, if you're going to make, I mean, alcohol should be illegal then. If you're going to tell people they can't smoke weed, that's what I think. Fine, legal.
Well,
make it all illegal then, because they're going after cigarettes now too, and it's like I don't care if people.
Well, there was a whole
cigarettes.
movement in the United States in the 20th century to do that.
I know, and it didn't work, did it?
It did work actually.
Well,
and so
they still had underground. The mob was.
They did,
stuff,
but it
though.
was.
So
it did reduce
it
drinking. I mean, it's you just have to.
Like people were still drinking. What were the?
I read that actually it was a myth that it didn't work, but it actually did work. I mean, there were exceptions, but it did reduce alcohol-related stuff. So. Laws do work somehow, just because they're not 100% effective.
But they're not going to do that though. These people I've seen on Twitter going after like people that smoke pot, they're all pro drinking. Like we met people like that in real life. Like I didn't know people like that even existed. But it's like it's okay for me to ruin my liver, but if you want to smoke weed or that's bad. They're not going to say, well, we should make alcohol illegal. They just want their drug.
The only argument I've heard the difference is that you can drink without getting drunk, but the whole purpose of smoking marijuana is to get high.
But you can get a buzz. You don't have to be like just like so fucked up you can't.
I'm not saying I'm agreeing that. That was the argument.
Yeah, but how many people just drink to drink? Usually people try to get a buzz. Please,
alcohol tastes like garbage. Or something.
Alcohol does not taste good.
I disagree. There's some drinks that like a nice wine tastes good. Some like I love margaritas. I love the taste. So
you get buzzes when you drink that stuff, Paul.
If I have enough, but not if I just have one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, if you abuse it. So. What'd you say?
I said I'll let you go ahead and read the chat.
Right.
I'm trying to read it, and we've been
okay. Well, it's a good conversation, Johnny. My prediction is that Ron DeSantis will be the nominee. You could be right. Trump will win the primary, but get removed for legal reasons. I've said that a long time. And Ron DeSantis, I think, will beat Nikki Haley to take Trump's place. You could be right. I mean, DeSantis and Haley are kind of neck and neck outside of Trump. And I know the neocons are real behind Nikki Haley, but a lot of people hate Nikki Haley for good reason.
Well, I don't really like any of these people, but if Trump's not the one, I'd rather DeSantis over Haley.
Yeah,
I think she is just toxic.
She's evil. Yeah.
Well, and the whole thing with her going after TikTok, which is another stupid thing the Republicans were talking about. It's like you don't have to like it, but it's like that's not going to win over voters when you want to take that away. Because, like you said, YouTube has YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
And people just nowadays everybody's addicted to
and the arguments are so stupid. They're like, oh, there's all this anti-Zionism stuff on TikTok, and I'm like, well, but it's not China pushing that on. It's just people loading their videos,
right?
And TikTok does a lot of censorship, from what I understand.
They
They're
do.
kind of like YouTube. And I think China funds it, but I don't think they really control it that much, really. They don't care. It's just the money. It's just a platform to make
But
videos.
I thought it was funny that Vivek, however you
Yeah.
pronounce his name, I thought it was funny that he went after her about her daughter.
What? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, that's what I mean, like hypocrites. And it's like, shouldn't you be home raising your
And she's like,
kid?
I'll leave my family out of it.
Oh
It's
no,
like,
she said, leave her name out of your voice, I think is what she
Yeah.
said. It was something so stupid.
but it's a relevant point. If she can't even control her own family, why she just wants
Yeah,
to control
exactly.
the
Well,
rest
why
of it?
isn't she like raising her kids? Why the hell
No.
is she out running for president? But the thing that really disgusts me though was when he was calling out how she got on the board, because I don't follow these people, so I don't know about how she's on the board of what was it? Some
Boeing.
Boeing
Board
yeah.
of directors.
Yes, and it's like, this bitch is okay with people dying so she can get rich. I
Yes.
mean, that's evil.
She is evil.
Like, yeah, if you're getting into politics and you're dealing with Boeing and all these places,
Well, she really sieved because she's no different than the
Rayathon
Clintons.
too, K-Max said.
What?
Rayathon and Boeing.
Yeah. It's a dirty secret. They want to hide how they get bribes without them officially being bribes.
Yeah, and they do, and that should be illegal. I don't think they should be allowed to get money like
I
that.
have seen that. I have seen that legitimately. I wasn't part of it, I'll just tell you, but it sort of goes like you're trying to get a contract with a big corporation with a state, and they're like, they don't say this directly. They say, well, after you're out of politics, you might be a good fit to be a consultant with us or whatever. You don't really have to come into work or anything. We'll just pay you to
Right.
be a consultant.
Kind of like Hunter Biden.
That's how they do
Is
that
that how he
because
got all his
yeah,
money?
it's plausible deniability, right? Because you can say, oh, no, we're not paying a bribe. We're just paying for their expertise. But what does Nikki Haley know about aerospace?
Nothing.
Right. It's a bribe.
Right. And then another thing that pissed me off about her, she
Mhm.
wants to cut anything that helps Americans. Like
Right.
we're talking about that. I'm not like big on these programs either, but you need to be able to help people sometimes. And I'd rather my money help here at home than to go overseas to kill people.
Well-
and she's okay with that. Like we have to build ships and we have to do all this.
Yeah, it's so
Well,
tone
what the
deaf.
hell?
She's
Like,
talking about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicaid. But then she's saying we got to build more ships. We got to give more to Israel. We got to give more money to Ukraine. Yeah, it's just frustrating.
oh, this is kind of funny. This guy in your chat, he's one of these, I love alcohol, but we people are all gay and stupid. It's
Uh-huh.
funny. It said, alcohol contributed to Western civilization. We'd built the Cheech and Chong movie franchise, which is better. I don't know, man. The Cheech and Chong movies are pretty funny. Paul probably disagree, but Up in Smoke is very, very funny.
There's parts that are okay.
It's
yeah.
funny. I had a hamster named Cheech.
Did you?
Well, they were Cheech and Chong, but then Chong escaped. Hey, it's
Hey,
Sarah.
a real life friend of ours,
Hey.
Sarah. How you doing?
Doing good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. I have you on my headphones, so I didn't know if it came through okay. Hey, Paul, I wanted to ask you your opinion on something because
Sure.
I have been, and I actually wrote Sasha about this. I've been really following the student loan situation because I'm paying student loans. Actually, that's kind of why I've been not around a lot because I'm working 2 jobs right now. I've decided to just, buckle down and pay these dumb things off. But anyway, I have been noticing people are starting to talk about this more and more on YouTube, but it's really out of the lens of the political eye. But the thing I'm seeing is that for the most part, the housing market, a lot of the mortgages that have been going through have.
Oh, you just cut off.
Some people were saying her sound was kind of loud.
I was trying to adjust it. Yeah. Oh, you're back,
Oh.
Sarah?
Am I too loud? Am
No,
I
you're
okay?
back now. Yeah, you broke out for a second. You're back. Yeah.
Okay. So the majority of the housing, I don't want to say majority, but a large amount of the housing transactions that occurred, purchases, were of people that were of the age group that they are just getting out of college. They're just starting. And I just mean over the past 3 years. And anyone that acquired housing over the past 3 years that had student loans, we were in the COVID pause. And so the student loans weren't factored in to the mortgages to see like what they were able to afford. They didn't factor in the student loans. So now it's to the point that they just started implementing payments again. But Biden did this thing where he passed this like emergency plan so that if you cannot pay the student loans, it doesn't go into your credit for a year. It doesn't affect your credit. So he's kind of kicked the can down the road for a year. I'm starting to see, at least in the urban areas, people are posting videos about how there's a lot more foreclosures, there's a lot more issues with housing. But I feel like this is all going to become a massive crisis right around election time next year, when this year-long pause on forbearance will go away, because they'll start to garnish the wages if you don't pay your student loans. Right now, that's paused, but after this year pause, they're going to start garnishing wages. So you can't really have a choice between, am I going to pay my student loan or my mortgage? It's going to get to the point that you're not going to pay your mortgage. So I feel like at that point, it's going to be a snowball effect where nobody's going to be able to pay for the mortgages. All these mortgages are going to go into foreclosure. And I just think the economy is going to feel the brunt of this decision making in our political offices. And I just wanted to see what your thoughts were, if you've heard anything about this, or if you've even considered this as an option.
Yeah, I'll give you my take on the student loans here. So I'll just, yeah, go ahead. She's on mute, so that's good because background noise. But student loans is one of those things because we did things wrong. It shouldn't be. Here's the ideal world. In the ideal world, the government would not be involved with education. And if that was the case, whenever the government's involved with anything like healthcare or education, the cost skyrockets. So ideally, you want to have the government in there. And then the banks, if they wanted to give you a loan, they would base a loan based on what sort of degree you're getting, if it was valuable.
Right.
So if you were getting a degree, let's say in chemical engineering or being a doctor, they could say, well, we know you're going to make the money to pay this back. But if you get a degree, let's say in gender studies, or like, this is a little risky for us, we're not going to give you the money. That's how the market would deal with this situation. Now, at the same time, I understand we don't live in an ideal situation. We don't live in a market economy. And you have the question is, a lot of these young people at a young age were put into this contract and sort of lied to at a good age. Like, oh, everyone's got to go to college, otherwise you're going to be a loser. And they thought they'd get all these good paying jobs and they're working at Starbucks or something. And so I am sympathetic with that. And but at the also you get to the issue, you kind of have the moral hazard. Is it really fair for the people, let's say like Sarah, that are working 2 jobs to pay it off?
Or people like us, or maybe
or
that didn't
someone
go.
like Sasha that didn't go because of that. She didn't want that loan over her. Is it fair to those people?
Right.
And because, that's another issue too. I personally just think what should happen is, I don't know if you know this, Sasha, but student loans currently aren't dischargeable in bankruptcy.
Yeah, I know
I think
that.
they should be.
Yeah.
And then they should be treated like every loan. And if you had that, then what would happen is banks would be a lot more, whoever gives loans, if you got the government up, they'd be a lot more careful of giving these loans out. And bankruptcy, and I'm just speaking to the general audience, you probably know this, but it's not necessarily like you're penniless. In fact, you usually get to keep your car, house, and what I mean.
Right.
It just dissolves your debts, and
Right.
you can have up to so much money, and then the rest you have to give it to the creditors. But then it flattens you
Yeah,
out.
I know. I've had friends and family that have filed, so I kind of.
But then even like within like 4 or even in less than 7 years, not like 4 years, you could get credit back.
Yeah, you can.
And so it's not like the end of the world, right?
No.
So I think it should be treated in that people should be able to go bankrupt because of that, to clear their debts. And it gets a little complicated though, because it would hurt our deficit anymore because the government got their paws
Right.
into it. So now we have a bigger deficit because we have on the books that these loans are going to be paid back and we don't get them back.
Right.
So it's a complicated matter. I think just based on the issue now, they should be able to discharge it through bankruptcy. But ideally, my ideal system, the government wouldn't be involved with education in the first place.
I mean, you get a lot of people out that shouldn't be in there in
Right,
the
because
first
then the
place.
market would decide this. So you wouldn't say like you're some girl that just wants to go to college to party and take some useless degree. You're not going to be, unless daddy gives you the money, you're not going to be able to get a loan.
Right.
And so that's going to, and that, by the way, then the colleges would realize that they can't sell that. So they'd have to have more serious curriculum.
Well, and they waste so much money.
Yeah.
Like when I worked at the university, I mean, you see the way they just hemorrhage money and
Because
the
they get
salaries.
money.
Yeah, I
They
know.
got
And
government
because the
money, yeah.
government gives
Yeah.
them money and the salaries some of these people make, and you're like, why are they making this much money? They don't deserve that kind of money.
Right.
I
But
mean,
at the same time, I'm not, I do have some sympathy with the people of the loans because we do have this double standard. It's like, oh, if the bankers are in trouble, because you remember 2008,
right, we'll bail them out.
they made all these wild bets in their, and then they were like, oh, well, this would be a travesty if we go out. We got to bail us out, taxpayer.
Right.
And if you remember that, I remember the year they got bailed out, 2008, they were giving themselves $1 million bonuses.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about,
Disgusting.
so I am sympathetic with that, or we have endless money for Ukraine and Israel,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and sorry, I was going
Go
to
ahead.
say what I kept saying was, they keep talking about forgiving student loans, and it's all kind of just pipe dream to sell votes to themselves. But I would always say if they were really serious about this, what they do is eliminate the interest rate, because some people pay upwards to 11%. And they're paying interest on interest because of how long it's been, like even their base payment. I know the one year I paid my base payment for the whole year. I think it's like $475 a month I paid for the whole year. And at the end of the year, they give us our tax statement for our tax returns. And it said I put $500 towards my principal. And that's when it really hit me, like the reality of this and how much of it just goes to interest. But then recently, I saw, now this comes from Yahoo Finance, so take it as credible as you will, but they released this information report that said that over 40% of our government spending is coming from student loan payments, which just astounded me. And that made me realize that is why there's never been talk about forgiving or getting rid of the interest rate, because this is a huge amount of the spending that they're doing is coming from these payments.
You mean the government revenue?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be from taxes, and this is what made me call in, because you were talking about how, our tax money should go towards different things. And then it just made me want to tell you, I realize that I think that's about 9% was taxes. 9% of their revenue that they're spending. But yeah, I think it's 44% is student loan payments.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Sorry,
The cap
Miss
has messed
Louise's
things up
leg
here.
was tangled up in the wires. That's what you get for streaming over here.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. I don't know if they'll actually forgive it because it
They
is a lot of
won't.
money.
I don't think they will. It's just like the healthcare stuff. They're not going to do anything about it. They don't give a shit.
Now, concerning interest to pay, again, let's get the government out of it. But if you're going to loan someone money, someone's going to loan you money unless they get interest. Why
Right.
would they loan money?
Right.
So that's, I don't know. It's a bad situation, I think, because of how it went through, because they made bad decisions in the first place. So,
People wanted to see the cat.
Oh yeah, which
This
one's
is
that?
Louise.
Yeah. She
We're
unplugged
overrun
our
with
head.
animals.
Yeah, we have a lot of animals here. Well,
There's
there's
almost
two
a new
black cats.
animal.
It's kind of hard to tell them apart from afar. So At least
We
for
almost
me.
had a new animal a few days ago. This
Yeah,
kitten was out
Sasha
in the
had another
rain,
cat in
and
here.
I let him stay the night here. And then my neighbor thought he belonged to another neighbor, but he didn't, and he got out, and he ended up, I guess, some kids at the bus stop took him. So hopefully
Yeah.
he found a good home. I called him Robin, but
Yeah, someone
Yeah,
else
sweet
says
little
you should
guy.
be able to default. I agree. You
You
should be able to
should.
default.
Well, I have a
And-
friend that's like your age, and he's got like 60 grand of debt. He's not going to be able to pay that before
No, he
he dies.
doesn't
He's
plan
already
to,
had a
though.
heart attack. He's
Yeah.
obese. He's had all
Yeah.
these health problems. He ain't going to live like
Well,
long enough
and
to
a lot
pay
of the
that.
problem with the student loans that pissed me off, he used his student loans not just for education, but to travel Europe.
Well, I had another friend that did that too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times they don't use it for,
So why
stuff
should
they
I
need.
pay for someone's European
Right.
travel? I didn't get to do that.
Yeah,
So
me either.
I don't know. That's why when you get the government involved, you get issues here. So
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So it was nice talking to you guys again. So
Some time or time. I know you're working 2 jobs. So you're probably busy. I'm busy with that house crap on the weekends.
yeah.
yeah,
But we should talk
absolutely.
sometime.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, take care, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
you too. It was good to talk to you.
Push the cat down.
Oops. You keep pulling my headphones down.
Well, that's the cat that did that one.
No, you
so,
did it twice.
Yeah,
Yanked them out of my ears.
Yeah. Get a better phone. Well, we have this splitter we're using now for this.
Yeah.
It was that. So this allows us so we can listen to
Videos.
and stuff, and then we don't have the feedback. So
Oh, now they're slapping each other. Louise just
I
slapped
know.
Katie in the face.
yeah. So that an audio engineer would help. Yeah, we need our hire an audio engineer, Sasha. Maybe Pearlie probably has one.
Oh,
we
were you
don't.
going to auction off my car?
Oh yeah, one of the things that we're going to talk about. Let's and see what you guys think. We got this. Sasha found this car in her place. It's
I
what
have
is-
2
General
of them,
Lee,
actually.
right?
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
another one that was real beat up.
This is in
looking.
pretty good condition, and you can't get cars like this anymore because they hide the Confederate battle flag. So we thought about it'd be kind of fun because I asked, joking with Sasha, I'm like, how much would you give up for this car? And she said minimum $25
Yeah.
because you can't get these anymore. So we thought we would auction this off maybe on a night owls. But I guess how it would work is, so you guys think about, we'll do it like maybe next week. And if anyone wants to, then we'll just see. Then whoever gets the highest, they can send it via PayPal or something.
And that would include shipping.
And including shipping, would write you a thank you note. And so if you, it's a
Somebody
neat car.
suggested it on Twitter. They told
Actually,
Paul.
someone suggested this, and
They're
that's kind
auctioning
of a
it
good
off.
idea. I mean,
I
I
said we
like
should
it
every week
myself.
auction something
Yeah.
off.
It is
I have a
cool.
house full of crap. Like
So
I have to get rid
you
of
get a actual Sasha from the South General Lee
that I
car
had as a kid.
with it as a kid with a Confederate battle flag, which you can't get anymore. And would they even allow you to sell that on eBay now with a Confederate
I
battle
don't
flag?
know. That's a good question. I think you can get Dukes of Hazzard stuff on
But
there,
which I
though.
bet not with a Confederate
You
battle
might
flag.
maybe just have to cover it up when you
Yeah, I
list
know.
it.
So think about that, guys, and then
Because I know I saw Dukes of Hazzard bed sheets on there once. I was because I like to
yeah.
I like to take bed sheets and make them into things. Actually, before we go, I should show them this. This is going to be for sale, like in hopefully this week. I want to show them my apron.
Oh, okay. So I should
This is what I make out of
make
bed
you
sheet.
something here. And what is this that you're making?
I already made it.
Oh, you already made it. Okay.
I already made it, but this I make out of like bed sheets and
Mm-hmm.
pillowcase and stuff. It's an apron. Like, can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Brandon thought it looked really good. He said he thought
It
it looked
does.
as good as anything you get in the store.
It does look
But
nice.
that's
It's
why I
cute.
was looking up Dukes of Hazzard bed sheets because I can make
Mhm.
bags and stuff too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that had the General Lee on the bed sheets. You'd think it would though, because when people think of
Yeah.
like Dukes of Hazzard, they always think of the cute boys, the hot girl, the car, and Boss Hog.
Yeah.
So you would think
And
that
the flag.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you would think those things would be on. Well, because I said General Lee, I meant because that's on the General Lee. But yeah,
That looks. People were saying that excellent apron. Yeah, Sasha does a nice job with that.
thanks.
So,
I
yeah.
want to make more. I have some stuff ready. I've just been busy because I have all this stuff because I work, full-time job, and then I put stuff online, and then I've been making stuff to put on Etsy this week while the weather's good. Oh, you got to chat.
Well, Sasha, I would say she actually has 2 jobs. She has her main job but she also has her eBay job
And
basically. And
Etsy. I
Etsy,
make
she
stuff
makes
and
stuff and sells it. And
now
sometimes she buys stuff and flips it because she understands the value of toys.
well, and then I've been going through the stuff at my dad's house and
Oh yeah,
cleaning
she
that
finds a
up.
lot of
I
stuff
have a
like that.
box of stuff that I just have to clean, and it just it seems never ending. It'll be nice to get caught up in
So the
everything.
guys think next week we'll have an auction for this, and if no one wants it, I'm going to keep it because it's a cool car. So
Well, I gave you my other one already.
I know,
It's
but
on your shelf.
this is a better one,
Oh,
and so
okay,
it's
I
a
guess you can have it.
well, I will if no one wants it. So we'll do it.
Or are you buying it
Minimum
from me then?
bid of 25. I'm saying if no one gives $25,
All right,
then
then
I'll
Paul
take
give me 25 for it.
no.
then.
I'll keep that. Okay, here we go. Claire, thank you. I want to back the Republicans because they are the white person's party, kind of, but not really. But I can tell you the Republican Party in South Dakota is absolutely scary, run by the usual suspects. I back the Democrats. What does it say?
I
Without
back the Democrats
within
within
reason.
within reason.
Both parties are. I said today, like on Gumroad, are going through a civil war. Right now, the Democrats are having a problem of the leadership is still heavily Jewish and they support like Israel, but the younger ones are all like AOC types.
Mhm.
And the Republicans are kind of going through their own civil war where you have kind of the old establishment Republicans that think it's 1980s. And then you have a lot of the younger people like Vivek and people you see online that understand things a lot better. So you're right. The Republicans establishment now, like the guy suggested I should run. Well, if anyone wanted to run as a Republican seriously in this area, first of all, you'd have to be connected.
You probably have to kiss Walmart's ring
You'd
and
have
go
to do
along
that.
with whatever Walmart wanted, which isn't always good for the country.
No, and then you just have to do real CivNat talking points.
You would.
Like, well, we're for immigration just legally, and we need to be strong and not appease dictators, and we support Israel. You'd have to do that,
Mhm.
even to be. Otherwise, they just want to let you. You know, they
Yeah.
vet it. So it's just reality. It's just
Mhm.
not. You know,
There's no way in hell they would let either one of us run.
they
Like
basically
there's no.
froze out that
They threw,
Kumar.
yeah, Kumar,
Yeah,
yeah.
and he's
And
an
he had
Indian.
like talking points that were like considered normal like 40 years ago.
It really was.
Like
Yeah.
really, it was just
Mhm.
like now that I don't like the Republicans either. And my friend Brandon always says this because he never trusted them because he said they're the same people back in the 80s that were banning like books and music because now it's kind of switched and the left does that. But he said they're kind of like the killers of fun. If fun is to be had, they will stop you from having fun. They like to get in everybody's business. And I guess I'm more of a libertarian on that stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want our country overrun with the third world and all that, but on other things, personal responsibility, I'm kind of like, it's on you. I don't,
Right.
care that much what people do. And so the Republicans aren't really the party for that. They're for killing people, but they're for jailing people that smoke pot. So it's kind of like, I mean, to go to all these wars, they want us involved in every place. I never hear them say, except like Ron Paul or maybe Vivek to some degree. Trump, he kept us out of like wars, but most of them are all gung ho with we have to get involved in all these
Right.
places. And it's like, no, we really don't. So, yeah, Ron Paul was awesome. Somebody in the chat was
Yeah, I
talking about
actually
Ron Paul.
donated to Ron Paul when he was running.
He's the only politician I really trust.
Yeah, he's a
Because I
good
know
man.
a lot of people don't trust Vivek either. Like Brandon said,
Mhm.
he doesn't really trust Vivek. He said he says all the right stuff, but he comes off as like a used car salesman. But I just love that he went after the
It was
Republicans at that
funny.
last
I
debate.
like Vivek.
That high heel remark. And then she's like, and they're 5-inch heels. And it's like, just shut up, bitch. Like, you're
Yeah.
so annoying.
It wasn't a good comeback.
No, I can't imagine like anybody wanting to vote for her. But I work with a lady that said her husband loves her. And I'm like, why? Like, I really don't know. And she's the one that tore all the statues down or had the
Yeah,
statues
she
torn
was.
down.
Yeah, no,
So
she's
screw
horrible.
her.
Yeah,
How is she really different than like the Democrats? Really?
yeah, and she was like big in in the name of George Floyd. She said like in the name of Jesus.
Are you
Yes,
serious?
yeah. And
What a
it
psycho.
was one of her tweets. She's a grifter. Yeah. So I get it. I mean, the Republicans. There's a difference between kind of the base and the leadership. The leadership actually hates us. They really do.
Yeah, they do.
And so it's weird That's why I'm not a Republican. I'm not registered as a Republican.
I'm
just
registered as an
independent. Yeah,
independent.
me too. So I'm not a Republican. So I guess I support more of the Republican candidates somewhat, but I would sit out an election between Biden and Nikki Haley.
I'm
I
not
don't
even going to
care.
go vote.
No,
I'm not even voting here.
I want to give a
They
shit
haven't
about
done anything to help me, and all these politicians voted. I'm pretty sure our guy didn't here too, for like taxing everybody on their eBay money. They're supposed to claim to like want you to keep your own wages, but then they go after people's eBay, their little side hustle that they don't make much money on. They go after that. They want to raise the Social Security age. I know
Yeah.
so many people that have died before they could collect.
That's the goal.
My uncle
yeah.
got cancer and he got one check and then he died. You know, and it's kind of like they're stealing your money basically. Fine, then let me keep my money every week and I'll put it in my retirement, because I put in my retirement too. But it's like I'll take whatever they take for Social Security, put it in that. But I've already paid in. They want to take it away from you.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll give it disability to these people that are just too lazy
Right.
to work. I've known so many
Or
people
illegal
like
to
that.
get money too.
Yeah, that too. Aren't they getting like $2,000 a month?
Yes.
Is what I heard. That's insane. They should be sent home.
I know.
Like, there's no reason they should even be here.
It's that's
So-
why I say our politicians hate us. They hate America.
They do.
There's no other way to say it. So to the Claire, I agree with you, Claire. I'm not a Republican.
Neither.
I'm not a fan of the leadership. I think they suck.
Well,
They
and then
really
they're whatever you call them, they're influencers like Shapiro and Crowder and all that. I don't know about Crowder so much, but I know Shapiro's been all for like this war. And it's kind of like he's like, you have to take a side, you're anti-Semitic.
Oh,
It's like,
Shapiro?
yeah.
Well,
it's
he's
like,
Jewish.
I know, but
That's
still,
fine,
it's
yeah.
like all these people go along with
Yeah.
it though.
I know.
Like, and it's like, guys, use your freaking brain. There's sometimes I think the Republican Party's just as sheep as the left. Like, we talk about the left being sheep and going along. A lot of the right wing people do too.
Yeah.
Like, use your freaking brain. These people aren't your friends. I used to get in arguments with my dad about it because he would, if it had an R by the name,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just like, Dad, these people don't give a shit about us. Like, you shouldn't care about them either.
Yeah, no,
I mean, Trump's the only one that kind of pretended to care. I don't know if he really did, but he at least kind of talked about the plight of the working man and the jobs being shipped out. You don't hear anybody else really talk about that.
J.D. Vance a little is pretty good. I like
Yeah,
him.
he's okay. I don't particularly trust him either.
No, I don't either. But
He's one of these pick yourself up by the bootstraps. I did it. And then it's just like, yeah, not everybody can
he
do
wouldn't
it,
get
though.
into Harvard. He got into Yale. He wouldn't get into Yale now
Uh-oh.
because of the diversity stuff. Yeah. So they're gonna pull out your headphones again. So okay, I think we got everything.
You
Haven't
got
we?
everything?
Yeah. All right, guys. So we will wrap up, and
Wrapping up just as big guy was getting to sit
yeah, I
down.
know just what he's sitting on us. So we will do this. I have my show tomorrow, and look forward to that. So I hope you guys. Thank you for the great show support. Kind of started slow, but it ended up pretty good. So thank you guys. We'll talk to you guys later.